Hey,
Hey,
you and I, just two 20 somethings talking about a movie made for kids. We saw Lightyear. This is the first Pixar movie to be in theaters since
was it Onward?
Onward. Wow.
That was 2 years
Wow.
ago. That's crazy.
That is so crazy to think about that Onward was the last Pixar movie that only released in theaters. All right, so Lightyear. This is directed by Angus McLean. They had their hand in a lot of Pixar movies, Finding Nemo, Incredibles, like a bunch, Wall-E. So they're Pixar. They've been working at Pixar for a long time. It stars Chris Evans, Kiki Palmer, Peter Sohn, Taika Waititi, uh, Uzo Aduba, and like so many, and a few others, because the cast really isn't that big. But yeah, Zach, what is Lightyear about?
It blows my mind that the very beginning of the movie, that's what the marketing should have been for this movie, where it was
Yeah,
like all it said was in 1995, Andy got a toy from his favorite movie. This is that movie. That's all they had to say, and
yeah,
everyone's like, "Oh, okay."
yeah,
It's like people are confused on like what the heck this is, and it's like I mean, it's supposed to be a fake movie
yeah,
about Buzz Lightyear,
yeah.
and which is
This is yeah.
confusing to say, but
This is the
it's origin story or whatever.
yeah. It feels like an origin story. Zach, what'd you think?
I thought Lightyear was perfectly okay because Pixar, I love them so much,
Yeah,
and this is certainly not anywhere near the top, but it's not near the bottom either. It's not
yeah,
Cars 2 or 3 or those are the two I could think of. But it's like in the middle. It's one of the ones where I don't even know if kids are gonna love it because
yeah,
I mean like I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was perfectly okay.
yeah, yeah. I think before we get too much into it, some I think the best parts. It looks awesome. It
It
looks
does. It's
great.
very pretty.
It borderline sometimes on like, ooh, is this too realistic of animation for something like this, or do you want to see more of a cartoony thing? But it looks great. The cast is great. Chris Evans is, perfect as this Buzz. That's not supposed to be Tim Allen's Buzz. It's supposed to be this is Buzz. This is like who that's based on.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's not a washed up toy. He's not a
yeah,
washed up toy. He's kind
yeah.
of like a cocky pilot.
Yes, yeah, he's like a Han Solo-esque kind of figure. So he's great at that. Keke Palmer's fun. Tyke is also, he always brings it.
He's
Uh,
himself.
this movie though, as well as its cast, as great as it looks, it just feels kind of soulless a little bit to me.
I felt the exact same way. Where it was
Yeah,
like I'm not latching onto anything because I'm like, yeah, like that makes sense. Sure. I don't really care.
yeah,
Like should this movie like the whole time I'm thinking like should this movie even exist? Maybe not. But
yeah,
since it's here, it's okay.
yeah. It's perfectly fine, as you said. It's a fun way to kill an hour and a half. There's some fun, like if you love Toy Story, if you grew up with Toy Story, or if you've watched Toy Story 100 times because of your kids, like there are moments in this where they don't, obviously they can't nod to Woody or do anything like that, but they can nod to some of the things Buzz says in the original movie. And the plot is so much smaller than I thought it was going to
That's
be
what
too.
surprised me as well. It's
Yeah,
like he's not trying to save the world or anything. He's just trying to
yeah.
not be a loser, I guess.
Yeah, and again, it's hard because I think the message is great. I think the idea that it's a very much a this this one man wolf pack, if you will, kind of opening himself up.
He needs to learn
Uh,
to work with others.
at the same time, I was kind of thinking this was going to be some space epic, and it really isn't. It's like a very like low key, um, by the numbers science fiction picture. And yeah, I think, and we talked about that this is the first one to hit theaters. I was kind of like, this one should have been the one that was on Disney
That's
Plus.
exactly what I thought. Like Turning Red should
Yeah,
have been in theaters. Turning
yeah,
Red should have been in theaters, and this one is like perfect for Disney Plus because it's
yeah,
nothing. It's not that special. It's like,
Yeah,
it's solid.
it's
What
it's
that's it.
it's hard, and I don't want to call this a cash grab. I don't want to call it like what it may or may not be, but it does. It feels that way of like, hey, look, Buzz, and you're like, okay, well, why Buzz? If you love sci-fi, there's definitely a weird element. It's just that also like, yeah, but with sci-fi, you have to explain some of this stuff, and there's a lot of things that just don't line up, and you're like, and again, it's a kids movie. We
Yeah,
could talk about, we could
and
nitpick it all day.
but my favorite part was whenever they like bring out a whiteboard to explain how like the faster you go, the slower the time
Yeah,
goes to a space ranger
yeah,
who
it's
probably
just
knows this already. I was like, it's a
yeah.
kids movie, whatever.
Yeah, and at the end, again, yeah, we could nitpick it all day, but at the end of the day, it's just a kids movie. If you're looking for, a way to beat the heat and kind of kill an hour and a half, it's a good time. But maybe if you're kind of on the fence, you just wait for Disney
That's
Plus.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. Like unless like you have kids who are like dying to see it, wait
Yeah,
for this until it because it's
yeah,
gonna come on Disney Plus eventually. Just
yeah.
wait.
Just wait.
Lightyear to me is a 7 to infinity and beyonds out of 10.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's
That's still
it's
pretty high, I
I
think.
mean you're right, it is kind of high.
I mean, I would have given it, I mean, 7 is good. I'll give it a 6 to infinities and 6 to infinities and beyond.
That's all I got to say about Lightyear. Just wait till Disney Plus.
Just wait, more like light beer, am I right? That's what Woody says in Toy Story.
He says light beer. I don't remember this.
Yeah. Yeah, go back and watch. You're clearly not a diehard Toy Story
You're right, I'm
fan.
not.